Well, this is really bonkers. It's crazy, but it's great though. Are we on? Are we on? Okay. Hi, I want to talk to you about huge loans for fair credit. In today's conversation, I want to compare and contrast NavyFed, PenFed, Upstart, Upgrade, and Best Egg. Don't go anywhere. You're going to love today's conversation. I guarantee it. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sorty Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous. If you were to ask me, if you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to talk to you. If you have fair credit and are looking for a massive personal loan, you are at the right place because I'll be comparing and contrasting NavyFed, PenFed, Upstart, Upgrade, and Best Egg. Let's start with Upstart. So when you think about Upstart, I want you to think about an online lending platform. They are a fintech company and they use artificial intelligence to look at an underwriting process that is, in our view, more cohesive and more comprehensive. In other words, they pay attention besides your credit score, beside your financial situation. They pay attention to your education, your area of study. This is really great. This is one of the rare lenders that look at your major in college, what you studied in college, to approve you for a loan. So this is really great, okay? What are the pros and cons here? There's no prepayment penalty if you want to pay your loan off early. A soft credit inquiry can help you check your rate before you officially apply without dinging your score. Your employment and education history are considered in setting terms. What about the cons? The maximum APR is high at 35.99%. It has potentially high origination fees. In our research, we have seen up to 8%. Can you believe that? 8%. And only 2 loan lengths are offered, 2 terms. And they have a low maximum loan amount, and that's $50,000. So if you're looking for $75,000 or $100,000, you are out of luck with Upstart. And you also need to understand that the loan amounts go from $1,000 to $50,000. Okay, the typical APR 3.22% to 35.99%. This is kind of good though. And Upstart does not charge a prepayment fee, but their origination fees are crazy high. Remember that the origination fees are deducted from your loan proceeds. Okay, don't let anybody fool you, tell you that you want to pay a prepayment fee before they give you the loan. No, it should be the other way around. The minimum credit score that they want is 580. This is kind of cool. And late fees are $15 or 5% of the past due balance, whichever is greater. And return, ACH, transfer, or check refund fees are $15 per occurrence. Okay, and your credit report must be clear of bankruptcies, public records, or accounts that are currently past due. So if you have derogatory items, you want to clean them first before you apply with this lender. And repayment terms, 3 or 5 years. They only have 2 terms. Let me talk to you about Upgrade. So Upgrade is kind of similar in the sense that they are a fintech company. They are an online lender, okay? And one thing you need to understand here is that with Upgrade, you have also a constellation of products, not just credit cards, but not just loans. They offer other things also. And we love the fact that with Upgrade, you have plenty of loan options. Whether you want to consolidate debt, pay down high interest credit cards, make a major purchase, or finance a home improvement project, this lender, Upgrade, may well have a financing solution to suit your needs. Okay, and the maximum here, the loan goes from $1,000 to $50,000, and the APR starts they start at 5.94%. So let's look at the pros and cons here. The pros: you have a soft pull process. In other words, you can check your rate before you apply. And the soft credit inquiry is fantastic. And they have a free weekly TransUnion credit score. So your Vantage score 3.0. This is kind of cool. That is if you are approved, of course. And the range of loan sizes from $1,000 to $50,000. And what about the cons? Similar to Upstart, they do have an origination fee on all loans, regardless of your credit score. So even if you have 850, you still will have to pay an origination fee on the loan. This is how they make money. It's how they make money. Okay, and their maximum APR is also high at 35.99%. So this is, let me give you other information here. So minimum, maximum, you already heard that. This is $1,000 to $50,000, okay? You want to write it down. The APR will go from 5.94% to 35.97%. This is a huge delta though. This is like a 30% delta, but this is what it is. And in terms of the fees, so the origination fee on personal loans from Upgrade ranges from 2.9% to 8% and is deducted directly from your loan proceeds, okay? Upgrade does not charge a prepayment penalty. This is kind of good. And in terms of the minimum recommended credit score, you are looking at 600 to 620. If you're in that category, you're kind of cool. And repayment terms go from 36 to 60 months. So that's 3 years to 5 years, okay? And the time to receive the funds, you should probably receive your funds within 4 business days, 3 to 4 business days after your loan is approved, okay? And remember that there are a few restrictions in terms of the loan proceeds. You cannot use personal loans from Upgrade to pay for post-secondary education or any associated cost. So if you're looking for a student loan, you want to apply for a regular student loan and not get a personal loan and use it for education purposes. Let me talk to you about Navy Federal, folks. This is the third player in today's conversation. And with Navy Federal, you are looking at a credit union, okay? So you got to join. You got to become, you don't need military affiliation to join Navy Fed, but you need to join. You got to become a member, okay? And they offer personal loans as low as $250. And they also offer loans for people who may not have a stellar credit. This is really good. What are the pros and cons when we talk about Navy Federal? First, the pros. Joint applications are allowed. You have loan terms as short as 6 months, and you have low minimum loan amounts. Think about it, $250. So if you are looking for $250, you don't have to go to a payday loan, to a payday lender, to a payday loan provider. Now you can get it with Navy Fed, okay? What about the cons? Applicants need to be subject to a hard credit inquiry because Navy Fed does not have a soft pull system on their website. And membership is required to receive loan proceeds, and higher loan amounts could mean a higher APR. And other important information you got to be aware of is when we talk about Navy Fed personal loans, the maximum minimum amount could be, it goes from $250 to $50,000. The APR range 7.49% to 18%. This is really good. There are no fees at all, no fees, no balance transfer fees, no penalty, nothing. Okay, and the minimum credit score 580. This is really good. So when Upgrade and while Upgrade and Upstart are charging you a maximum APR of 36%, Navy Fed is charging you half. They're charging you 50% of that, 18%. That's the maximum APR. Okay, and the repayment terms up to 180 months. 180 months. Okay, this is like what? Help me out here. 15 years? 15 years, yeah, that's 15 years. Okay, and you can receive the funds the same day. If everything checks out, that's pretty fine. Okay, and we love the fact that if you want to know how much you could qualify for, the best way to find out is to contact Navy Fed directly. They have excellent customer service. They will work you through. If you are already a member, you should probably be able to apply for this loan through your dashboard directly online. You don't need to call them. But if you are a newbie, if you are new to the credit union, you will need to call customer service to make sure that you first qualify for membership before qualifying for the loan itself. Let's talk about PenFed Credit Union. So PenFed is another solid player when it comes to personal loans for folks with fair credit, and they offer competitive rates for those with fair credit or average credit, as well as access to other products offering plenty of benefits, okay? And with PenFed, when you talk about their personal loans, you have rates that start at 4.99%. That's just wonderful. That's just really, really great. 4.99%. Think about that. What are the pros and cons here? So pros, no origination fees or prepayment penalties, low minimum personal loan amounts, joint applications are available. That's for the advantages. What about the drawbacks? Now, membership requirements need to be met to qualify for a loan, and there is no pre-qualification. So PenFed does have a pre-qualification system on the credit card side, but they don't have it on the loan side. And here is some other information that you need to be aware of. So when you think about PenFed, you are thinking about a maximum and minimum loan amount of a maximum loan amount of $500 to $50,000. Okay, think about that. And the APR starts at 4.99%, and there are no fees. And the recommended credit score 580. That's the minimum. Okay. In terms of you can use the money the way you want. You can use the money to consolidate debt. You can use the cash for a major purchase. Not a problem. In terms of requirements, PenFed will take your income, debt, and credit history into consideration, including your co-borrowers if submitting a joint application. And what they want to do is they want to look at your DTI, your debt to income ratio. They want to look at your CUR, your credit utilization ratio. And as long as you have those two ratios at or below 35%, you're good to go. Okay. The repayment terms 6 months to 60 months. So half a year to 5 years. Okay. And time to receive funds could be the same day. This could be as fast as the same day if everything are fine. And one thing I want to say here is with PenFed, you want to be very, very careful in terms of planning for the loan. So you want to have all your paperwork ready. They might ask for your pay stubs. They might ask for your W-2s, your 1099s. They might ask for income verification letters from your employer. Okay, it really depends on the situation and the amount that you want. Okay, just make sure that you have all this information handy, and you also want to pay attention to your tax returns for the last 3 years. They might also ask for your bank statements. I'll be right back, but after this, don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweaty Kiwi Show. We're also having a conversation. We're having a compare and contrast today about 5 lenders, and 5 lenders that lend to folks with fair credit. So we have reviewed really quickly Upstart, Upgrade, Navy Federal, PenFed. Now I want to review here Best Egg. So when you think about Best Egg, I want you to think about a lending platform that basically is very intuitive, very user-friendly, and they have received accolades for that in the last few years. Okay, and at Best Egg, you may qualify for a personal loan of up to $35,000 with a credit score as low as 640, and we have seen people who got a loan from Best Egg with a credit score of 600. Okay, and they offer interest rate at 5.99%. Those are the starting APRs. Okay, what are the pros and cons here, folks? Pros: you have borrowing flexibility. So you have a wide constellation of approved purposes that go from debt consolidation all the way to a major purchase. No prepayment penalty, and you can potentially receive the funds in 1 business day. Okay, and what about the cons here? You have the lowest interest rates are only applicable for high income borrowers with good range FICO scores. Okay, you do have a fee, an origination fee as high as 5.99%. And you have a low maximum loan amount of $35,000. Now, for some people, $35,000 is a lot of money, but for some people, it's not. It depends on what you need the personal loan for. If you need $75,000, as I said before, or you need $100,000 in loan, Best Egg is obviously not the place for you. Okay. Now, other important information you need to be aware of. So the maximum and minimum amount you can borrow, $2,000 to $35,000. The APR will range from 5.99% to 35.99%. Again, here you can see that the delta is 30%. The difference between the high amount, the high APR, and the low APR is 30%. That's huge. And you also may have origination fees that range from 0.99% to 5.99%. And the Best Egg also charges a $15 late fee if you are more than 3 days late with your payments. Okay, minimum recommended score 640, and their repayment terms 36 to 60 months. 36 to 60 months. Now, there are some restrictions though. So if you live in Iowa, Vermont, West Virginia, the District of Columbia, and the U.S. territories, you are not eligible for a personal loan from Best Egg as of this time because they're still trying to figure out the state banking regulations in those particular areas. So I just gave you, the 5 players, what they offer, but I want to have a quick conversation about credit scores. Okay, so when we talk about credit scores, when we talk about fair credit, we are speaking about a score that ranges from 580 to 669. Excellent credit, 800 to 850. Very good credit, 740 to 799. Good credit, 670 to 739. And poor credit, under 580. So it's really important to understand that you want to constantly improve your credit score. Even if you have, let's say you have a fair credit right now, your goal should be to try to find a way to be into that good credit category, right? You want to constantly do that. You want to check your credit scores. You can check this on annualcreditreport.com once a year, okay? And trying to check all your 3 credit reports because sometimes there are slight differences. There are minor differences that really matter, and some lenders only check one report versus another. So you want to have a clear idea of all your 3 credit report. This is really important. So you want to cut, and there are services that are free that provide you free FICO scores and Vantage 3.0 scores. Okay, you have a Credit Karma, you have a Nerd Wallet, you have Wallet Hub, you also have CreditWise, you have Discover services as well. So this is important. Please try to lower your credit card balances because your CUR plays an important role in bumping up your credit score. And pay every bill on time. Okay, you want to automate things. You might want to have a system in place where you automate things. You have reminders, or you can just set things up automatically from your bank account. So the goal is to automate things because life goes on. People are busy. Anything can happen. You might forget. So try to automate things. Okay. And big decision time. Talk to me right now. Do you currently have a fair credit? Talk to me. Okay. If you have fair credit, what system do you have in place to make sure that your bills are paid on time? Talk to me about that. Have you automated things? Are you paying your bills from the same account? Have you thought about paying down debts? Because besides the CUR, besides the credit utilization ratio, you also need to think about lowering your debt to income ratio, your DTI. This is important also. And lenders will pay attention to that, okay? Consider also a cosigner. It really depends. If you can't get a loan by yourself, consider a cosigner. Before I get into I give you our pick for today, please check out this video about our loan evaluation approach. We do have a rigorous method on this show when it comes to evaluating, categorizing, and listing loans. Check this out. All right, now let's talk about the decision here. Which one to choose, folks? So I have talked to you about NFCU, PenFed, Upstart, Upgrade, and Best Egg. Which one to choose? Money, 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 money. $50,000. Think about it. $50,000. That's the maximum limit. Everybody gives you $50,000 except Best Egg, who gave you? I think they gave you $35,000. That's the maximum, of course. So the lender you are considering, or that you should consider, must respond to a few factors. In other words, you need to make sure that you watch out for high interest rates. Obviously, you could see that Best Egg, Upstart, and Upgrade, they have maximum APRs that go all the way to 36%, while NFCU and PenFed have lower APRs. So if this is an important element for you, as it should be, then you want to think about going to NFCU or PenFed. Okay. You also need to evaluate fees and repayment terms. Some lenders want you to have 36 or 60 months. Some are more flexible. For example, NFCU has a large range of payment terms. So if you want to retain some flexibility, this also is important. You want to find a lender that has minimal fees and flexible repayment terms, such as choosing your due date. Okay, additionally, some lenders offer longer repayment terms that could reduce your monthly payment amounts. What about credit union membership? Talk to me about that. Are you willing to join a credit union right now? Can you join a credit union right now? This is important because if you are going to do business with PenFed or NavyFed, you better have a member card. Okay, as I said before, nearly everyone in the United States right now can qualify for membership. You don't need to be affiliated with the military. Something that is different when you want to join USAA, for example. But for PenFed and NavyFed, you can get in, and there are several ways to get in, even if you have no military, geographic, or biological affiliation to someone who was in the service. Okay, and you also want to pay attention to your own budget. How is your own budget going to help you in terms of repaying the loan that you are about to get? So those are things I want you to think about. So after analyzing those 5 players, folks, our pick is Navy Federal. And you can see on the screen here, we have prepared a nice recap for you. And please take a look right now. So you see all the 5 players: NavyFed, PenFed, Upstart, Upgrade, and Best Ag. Okay, so our scores are in NavyFed 10 over 10, PenFed 9.5 over 10, Upstart 9 over 10, Upgrade 9 over 10, and Best Ag 8 over 10. Thank you so much for your attention, folks. I really appreciate it. I will see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.